Oh, shoot. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
How's things going?
They're going great.
Sweet.
So nice of you to come here.
It is amazing to use studio in real life.
You can't spell studio without stud.
I want you to take me around because this is a relatively small space.
Mm-hmm.
When you see it through the lens, it looks pretty big, especially since I'm shooting at 16mm now. If you walk up there, like, show the audience, how big is it? Okay, you look really small when you're standing up there. So it's like, how many feet?
So here, it's 12 feet by 12 feet, which is 4 meters by 4 meters.
So it's not a big space.
No.
But you've utilized it very well.
Yes, so it would be great to have a ton of space. A lot of people don't. I'll feel fortunate enough to have at least a whole room that I can do whatever I want with. So it's just a typical bedroom. And I think it's really fun to try to make a small space functional as much as possible. So this is my space.
So welcome to Tombak Studio Tour. How does your workflow go here? Because I can see a camera.
Yeah. So here's the thing that I did that I think was really helpful is like 4 years ago, I took a camera and I moved it around the room until I found the spot that looked best. And I found this corner. There was a lot less stuff in here, but because it had this giant picture wall and it had a corner and there was a drum set here at the time, this is what looked best on camera. So then I built the room around what was best for the camera. So hello, this is my video and I'm talking about stuff right now. And look, there's a Rodecaster, the whole thing. That's why it's sort of a strange setup. And then I just took 2 Home Depot workbenches, put them in an L shape, and they're super sturdy, super strong.
I like this.
Yeah, it's great. They can
It's,
get a little beat up.
it feels like something that would fit right in the PL studio. A little bit of black on these, and we're home. Am I right?
Home Depot.
Oh, does these cost much? Is it manageable expense for someone that want to have a home studio?
These are about $300 each.
All right.
And then I took off, there's a lot of side plates that make them super strong, kind of like this. But they're way easier to like slide under and you can clamp boom arms to them and stuff. I don't need this to hold 2,000 pounds. Like, what am I going to do? So
grab your car in here? Like...
Yeah, these are great desks. I love them.
Nice. What do you got here? This pole. Are you a stripper, Tom?
So that's really where my ad money, ad revenue comes from. Second channel. It's called Tom Buck Nasty.
That's okay.
Good lord. Yeah, this is an auto pole. These are super cool. Basically, they're friction mounts. You can put them floor to ceiling.
Oh,
or
so it's just screwed?
It's not even screwed. It's just this thing, if I undid this, it would kind of come loose and then you just take it out.
Oh,
so
sweet.
it doesn't damage your wall. You can move them in and out. They're really, really helpful. So I use this to clamp monitors and cameras and stuff too, which saves a lot of space. Look at that.
Yeah, I can imagine. And over here, I am interested in this. I always wanted to have one of these.
So nice.
Ooh. Look how neatly placed everything is. Wow. ND filters, monitors, bigger monitors, another monitor, another thing, a brand of light. And then we have the audio box or audio drawer, all the Rode stuff, deity. Wow, this is really useful to have.
It's really nice. It's my goal to say adios to bad audio. No, but it's really like the stuff that you use the most, really important to have it accessible. So like filters and stuff, that's a really narrow drawer, but I get those a lot. All these little things, you know, often you get these all the time. Weird little, I need this attachment to attach a thing to a thing. Having that accessible and kind of organized is huge. And these drawers are magic because when you close them when you close them most of the way, they automatically close the rest of the way, usually.
But it's also very good that you're able to reach this from that point.
Yeah, normally it's me just almost falling down over here getting stuff because I've got another cabinet in there that has like cables and things in it.
Ooh, okay. But this is a good like drawer or cabinet, and being able to store all your stuff like in the closet like this.
Yeah. Because it's just a bedroom closet, but where we live, there's a lot of earthquakes. And so I used to have all of my gear lined up on these white shelves. This whole thing was just like floor to ceiling white shelves with all the gear neatly lined up, and it looked amazing. But then there's big earthquakes, and I just imagined all of my expensive gear crashing down. So I got these really strong tool chests. All the gear is in there, and that way it's safe because you gotta keep your gear safe.
Let's talk about lighting in here because it looks amazing.
There's 15 lights on, I think, when I
You're almost at my level.
Yeah, close. Light per square meter, though, I might be winning.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the density of light. Yeah,
but it feels like wherever I go, there's good lighting in here as well.
I like soft lighting. Obviously, this is like the main spot. So we've got a key light there with the softbox. I have it bouncing off of the wall. So the light is going through a diffuser and bouncing back. So it's very, very soft. And when I'm in here all day, I also don't have a light shining in my face, which is great.
It looks great.
And then we've got, this is basically my fill light that bounces off of here. It helps a little bit. And then we got a backlight or a hair light up here.
What does a hair light do for those that don't know?
It makes such a difference because it basically, if I turn off that, you might be able to kind of see, like, it's not illuminating the front of me, but it's illuminating kind of around here. And what it really does is pull me away from the background and separate me from the background.
Nice.
And then I've got all kinds of little like tube lights hidden around. I love the pixel spectrum color, adding color in there. Light back here, which it brightens things up, but it also, as you might know, looks kind of cool on camera to have a tube light.
I have no idea what he's talking about. I've never used tube light in my life.
I put accent lights here. One thing I learned was if you have something like a shelf or a cabinet and it doesn't have lights in it, these are just aperture MCs, which are very, very small, and they're just magneted to the top. But if that's off, this in the background of the video is just a big black void of nothingness, and it's like really distracting. So by just putting in these little lights and remembering to turn them on when I film a video, this now becomes a really cool like background element.
I'm kind of thinking the same way when I'm setting up my lights in studio, that all the lights should illuminate something that otherwise would look boring in the shot. I have everything connected to like Philips Hue, so when I press the button, everything lights up and makes it look more interesting. It's a very good thing if you're like only having your kitchen as your starting point. Just take a light, put it in the background, makes it pop instantly.
It's great. It's the difference it makes is absurd.
For sure. Bring us to the bases.
Sure. Yeah. So here, I used to have a drum set here for a long time, and then recently I injured one of my feet. Couldn't play the drums as much. So I moved the drums to a different room. They're still there. Don't worry if you missed my drum set. They looked amazing in the background of videos, but they also took up all of this space. And so I could do nothing. So I moved those out. I put my guitars here, my wonderful bass here, so now I have room to rock out if I need to. But I also have room, even though this is very small, I can still set up, I do a lot of product photography. So if I'm making a video about a camera or a lens, I can put the camera on a mount here, I can set up lights and move lights around here, and then I can do little B-rolls and things. It's almost like a little studio space, just an empty chunk of space.
This is very good to have. Like it's the same thing as I have in my office, you know, when I'm sitting at my main desk, all the way behind me is just empty dead space so that I can move around and do the things that I need to do.
This isn't that much space. Like your studio's got a lot more space than this, but this little space really makes a huge difference.
It's like 2 meters between us.
It's really not much at all. This makes a ton of difference if you need to move stuff in and out and keep setting things up and be creative in your creative space.
Always. Oh, God damn it, Tom.
I didn't even catch it all. That went over my head.
But being able to have one of these spaces is something that has made a huge difference for me when it comes to utilizing the tiny amount of estate or whatever you want to call it.
There's very little space. So check this out. Here's a good example of that.
Yeah.
Since this is a bedroom, there's a window right here. This window looks really ugly on camera. And for years, I just tried to avoid filming this half of the room because it looked bad. So instead of dealing with that, I put some of the backdrop rollers there. Which looks nice. I can also change the colors to kind of like adjust the fill light a little bit. Since my computer monitor is on an arm, I can just move things around a little bit, get this out of the way.
Ooh, that's nice. Functionality.
This light is on a C-stand, which means I can flip it up and make it an overhead light.
So you can place your product right here.
Do product photography. Most of my thumbnails have like this blue background.
That's just so good. It is all about optimization when you're working with YouTube. To be able to turn around a video in one day when you get something sent over to you and the deadline is like right now. That is what it's all about. Optimizing the space, trying to make it as good as possible for you. What I think is the best is when I watch these kind of videos, I always draw some sort of inspiration from something.
Because this was nothing. Like this space could be used for nothing, and now it's used for a ton of thumbnails. And then I found out on YouTube, having a bright, solid color background with a prominent product photo tends to make for better thumbnails. So then the videos I started doing, that started performing better.
Oh, some YouTube tips.
Made a huge difference to have that little background roll there.
Now you know. Maybe you're gonna put up a background at home. One thing that I have an issue with is when I get to the office and it is junk everywhere.
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
It's really hard to do work in a really messy space.
It is.
I'm going to give a shout out to one of my friends, Kevin the Basic Filmmaker, who in his studio setup video, he said, "You're not done making your video until your studio is clean."
True. That's so good. That is very good.
That's burned into my brain because it's so. There's nothing wrong with totally destroying the space when you're making a video.
I get a feeling that he's talking about me right now, but
This space gets really messy very fast because it's small. And so when the video's done, while I'm importing my footage and doing all that stuff, put everything away, organize it, everything has a spot that it goes, you just put it in that spot, and the next day, when you come in and you sit down, you're ready to work, it's fresh.
it is literally one of the best feelings when you get to the office and then the first thing that you can do is just take a cup of coffee and then just enjoy the day, the morning, and then just think about what you want to do without focusing on the first thing that I gotta do is to clean.
If you feel like clear-headed and in control.
Yes. I just want to say thank you for this trip.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And this visit and everything. You've been the best host ever.
It's been so great to. The first time you and I talked was in here. Well, not really. I mean, you were in Sweden, but I was in here, sitting here at this desk looking at the camera. It was the first time that we like talked semi face to face 2.5 years ago, whenever it was, two and a half years ago. And now you're here, and that's crazy. It's the magic of the internet. So it's been a blast to have you here, and I.
Thank you. Same to you, my man.
Yes.
Boom. Thank you for the tour. I'm gonna let you do your work, and I'm gonna head home to Sweden.
Yeah, please get out of here
And,
and stop messing up my productivity. And
I'm gonna say bye-bye. Take care. And for those of you watching, don't forget to follow Tom. Subscribe to his channel. He's really close to 100K. Highly recommend you to watch his videos because they have a lot of dad jokes. And he's also very, very good at making videos.
Bye-bye. How do you say bye in Swedish?
Oh my god, I can't stand all the puns.
Hear you through the wall.
Oh.